Hello, I am National Sales Director Mia Mason Porter. And my journey began when I was a 19-year-old college student at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And my mom dropped me off at the college dorm, and she had just become a Mary Kay sales director. And she was heading to Dallas for new director education. And it was called Director in Training then. And she dropped me off, and she couldn't stay like while I had some freshman orientation and things like that. But she did tell me this. She said, Mia, I am going to earn my pink Cadillac before you graduate. And, I really was nervous about being in school, and being from Atlanta, Washington, D.C. was a big city to me. So I was like, okay, mom, And she had to leave. She wasn't able to stay through a lot of the orientation and things like that. But she did what she had to do, right? Well, guess what? She did it. She earned her pink Cadillac while I was still in school, as a matter of fact. And I remember when I decided to become a Mary Kay consultant, it actually wasn't the Cadillac that did it for me. It was this internship that I had in downtown Silver Springs, right? And I was like their accountant. I was more of a gopher, if you ask me. But my day consisted of what I call the waiting game. So I woke up every morning and I waited through traffic to get to the job, right? Then I waited for the owner of the company to get there, because whatever her mood was would determine everybody's mood in the whole place. And then I was waiting for lunch, and then I found myself trying not to go to sleep after lunch, and then waiting to go home, and then waiting through traffic, and then, eating a little bit, waiting to go to sleep, and doing it all over again. And the second thing is that the ladies who worked in the office, they were all women in this office, all women. And me being 19, they may have been 30, they may have even been 35, I don't know, but their discussions was always about like bad relationships and food. Bad relationships and food. That's all they talked about. And I said, after 1 month, I called my mom. I said, Mom, I want to try Mary Kay. I really don't want to do this all summer. I got to do something. And of course she was excited, and I got my kit. Man, I remember reading the Perfect Start script and word for word. And I remember I tried it out on just one of my friends and just read it word for word. And she was like, okay, sure. I could not believe it. Now, I wish I could tell you that the rest is, happily ever after. But that's not my story. I was more of an insultant than a consultant for like 3 years. So I still was hanging out in school, and partying and studying and doing all those things that an immature college student would do. And when I graduated, I remember living at home for 7 months. And I thought, okay, this is not going to work. And my mom's story is she asked me to get my own place. But my story is that I decided it on my own. So my mom is Sonia Hunter Mason. She eventually became a national sales director in Mary Kay. So not only did she earn her pink Cadillac, but she went all the way to the top of the company. And then after I graduated and got my apartment, that is when my whole Mary Kay journey changed, okay? I really became a consultant, and I started facialing and partying with Mary Kay parties with the friends I was doing the real partying with, right? And they loved the product. I mean, they loved the product, and several of them loved the business. So, okay, so 7 months, let me see. I don't remember how long it took. But a year after graduating, I went into DIQ. Okay, so I earned my first car in that apartment because now I had a purpose, right? Had a reason, because my parents told me I am not paying your rent. They had put me through college with no student loan. So I was scot-free, and I only had rent to pay, honestly. So I remember I earned my first car while I was in that apartment, and I became a sales director. I earned my first pink Cadillac when I was 23 years old, and I had two offspring sales directors like 8 months after I became a director. And I mean, it was on. The rest is almost history, I wish I could say. However, there have been some bumps in the road. I was single, no kids, hanging out, doing my thing. And then I met my husband, and we had two kids, and then that didn't work. And then I became a single parent. And then I met the love of my life. I am married again. So my journey in Mary Kay has been through several stages of life, okay? So single, no kids, married, married with no kids, married with kids, divorced, single parent, married with blended family. I mean, and through it all, Mary Kay has sustained me and my lifestyle. Now, in this marriage, to the right one, he's retired. And so my Mary Kay income is sustaining us and our lifestyle. I, of course, eventually became a national sales director, and my mother and I became the very first Black mother-daughter nationals in Mary Kay history. So we love that we were able to represent in that way. And I still enjoy representing for all aspects of life because I actually have lived most aspects of life for women. And the journey continues to please me. It continues to sustain me. My Mary Kay business, I don't know where I would be, how I'd be looking, how I'd be thinking if it weren't for our training, our culture, and the women who I get to do life with. So the business is more than that. We often say that it's more than lipstick, and I have found that it is way more than lipstick. The women who I get to do life with, the women in my national area, my national sisters, my director friends, consultants in all units across the Mary Kay national area friends that I have, it just doesn't get any better than these women who share with their heart, knowing that we have an abundance mentality and that them sharing does not stop their growth. You know what I'm saying? So I love this business. I really love the product. I mean, look what it did for me today. I love the product. I love the body care. I love our fragrances. Gosh, so much that I love about the business, but mainly it is the growth, the friendships, and the lifestyle. It's second to none. It cannot be beat. So this is my 29th year building my Mary Kay business, and every single year I can attest for growth in many, many areas. And so that's just a bit about me, and I'm excited to be here during this time of our environment where my kids now have to do remote learning and they can't be at school on their school campus, and I can be here for them. And I didn't have to ask anybody if they could let me off or anything like that. I was able to shift and switch gears immediately. I'm still able to work with technology and be able to hold virtual everything. Matter of fact, I actually find myself closer to the women in my unit and my customers and my area than before. It's funny like that. So good things are going to come out of what's happening in our world. Good things already have come out of what's happening in our world. So I'm so happy that you're here, so happy that you chose Mary Kay. And whatever you do with it, I want you to enjoy it to the fullest. And remember, whatever you put into this business, your input determines your output. Your input determines your output. Put it in, my friend. Put it in and get what Mary Kay is giving. Okay, that's me, Auntie Mia, Soul Sister #1, signing out.